How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. It's Wednesday. It's the big thing. Shawn Levy, he is the Deadpool 3 director. He's done a lot of great things, not just with Ryan Reynolds. He's done a lot of great movies, and he's doing a Star Wars movie. Well, he talked about that Star Wars movie in an interview. He talked about what he was told by Kathleen Kennedy of what she wanted. We'll get into that. This SAG strike, man, is it going to end this week? I don't know. Could it happen? Might it happen? We got to figure that out. There's a lot we're talking about here. We've been talking about this Aquaman, the reshoots forever with James Wan. He talked about those Aquaman shoots. And Mike Kalinowski's in the house, and he is not happy. Why? Well, he's just not happy person. No. He is not happy because of Mission Impossible. It got pushed another year. And we'll talk about that because that was definitely his most anticipated of 2024. Now it'll be his most anticipated of 2025. So we'll discuss that and more, but we ask you guys, as always, please be so kind to click that like button, subscribe to the channel. We are moments away from 100,000. We're at like 90. We're approaching 98, and we'll get to 100, I think, within November. So we hope that you guys will help us on this journey. And thank you so much. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. It is the big thing. It's myself. It's Mike Kalinowski. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is the big thing. Wednesday. Mike Kalinowski.
What's up, guys?
Roxy Stryer. No, I'm just kidding.
Aw.
That was good, though.
That's good.
I tricked myself. You got anxiety, I heard.
I do.
Yeah. So for people wondering why.
God, it hit. Like I couldn't figure out why. I was like, anxious. What? I'm normally an anxious person, but
Yes, but even more
there was
so.
some more so. The more I thought about it, like what the?
Can you do me a
I can
favor?
swear too.
No, you can't, because I don't
You-
want to put those donkey sounds again.
What? No.
I'm going to put the donkey sounds.
Why?
It's hilarious.
When I swear you get a donkey sound, I'll give you a donkey.
The donkey sound was amazing. All right, so why is Mike Kalinowski anxious? And I'll tell you, shut up. I'll tell you why. Because on Patreon, patreon.com/thebigthingshow, we've been doing some great pushes so far. We've gotten so many new people. If you're into the UAP thing, we got an extra UAP thing that Riley and I are doing. If you are into the pizza reviews, that once we get to 1,500 patrons, we're going to be able to travel with Frank and myself. We got Winston at 1,000. We're going to be scaring him at the at Hollywood Horror Nights, even if it's next year. And then you got Brett Sheridan, who's going to skydive in character as a Flirt and Floss once we hit the 10,000 subscribers, plus more. But at 600 patrons, again, paid patrons for the subscriber thing, you can follow now Patreon, and we're already at like 625. But when you get to, I think we're almost at 400. So when we get to 600, Michael Kalinowski will do stand-up comedy for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You should have seen
How many
Roxy's
for
stream.
Flirt and Floss to skydive?
10,000
Subscribers?
followers on Patreon.
Oh, followers, but then paid
Yeah,
patrons
yeah.
is different. Okay, I see.
because and then people go, well,
I see.
why 10,000? Well, for a lot of different reasons. One, I got to pay him a lot to do that. That's part
expensive,
one.
yeah.
Part two, it ain't cheap to skydive.
No, it's not.
And then I got to also pay Jen Sturger to not to skydive, but she's going full in character. Basically, she said again, her words, that her outfits will be dental floss. And that that's her words, not mine. And that she will be.
I've seen some of those photos.
I know, and I know your girlfriend does them with her, and she, but she basically is going to be in character, kind of taking him to the skydiving. But again, that's at 10,000 patrons. But Mike,
Yeah.
at 600 patrons, you're going to do stand-up comedy for 5 minutes, and you have anxiety about it, right, Roxy?
I do, and I think I don't know what I agreed to, but everyone that knows you talk us into for no that we're like, wait, what did I agree to? This is
Donkey
ridiculous.
sounds.
This is
Lot of donkey sounds today.
I don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. So if you want to do that, and then again, I've got I thought the bleach blonde hair for me was going to, people would be like, oh, that's not a big deal. Well, what do you want me to do? Give me suggestions of what you want me to do, because like I was going to do, for me, it's like we're going to a Corey Feldman concert. I got to sit through that. If we hit like 1,200 patrons, I got to sit through Corey Feldman. I'm going to bleach blonde my hair at and I think it's 5,000 and tan myself like an idiot. I mean, it's pretty stupid. Anyway,
You're fucking stupid.
and I really like the pizza thing too. The pizza thing's been fun.
What's the your thing you're
Yeah,
doing?
the pizza reviews. We've been doing some pizza reviews, and right away, people. There's most. I would say 95% supportive, and I would also say once again.
Do you guys do like Domino?
Well, maybe eventually, but like, it's one of these things. We want to do all the LA spots too, and there's tons of because Dave Portnoy over at Barstool has done it. Like he's the best. He's the best. His pizza reviews are the
Isn't
best.
that the one that got a little flack from the guy that was outside the pizza place and they got into a
Yeah,
little
they got into an argument. It's hilarious. They did a bunch. They've done a bunch of them. But he's pretty much revolutionized the pizza industry. He's brought so much business to pizza and everything. And it's the same way
The
that
pizza need to be revolutionized
he saved so many businesses, dude.
just by being given them
because he had an
press
audience.
and-
He had an
yeah,
audience,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
went through it, and people and people like his taste and stuff too. But that's why. And then there's another guy, the guy that's been doing it. I don't know if he's been doing it as long as Portnoy, but doesn't even have a fraction of Portnoy's audience, and it's the Land of Za, who does LA pizza. And it's like those guys, and there's other people who do it. People are doing food reviews forever. So it's like Frank and I knew that people go, oh, what? You're going to do what someone else has done? It's like, yeah, we're going to review food because there's only 2 people in the world who have ever reviewed food and ever reviewed pizza. So, and the same thing, that's what I said, is when people write that, like someone else does this already. And I wrote back and I go, yes, can you do me a favor? Can you time travel, please, into 2008 and tell anybody that's doing YouTube movie reviews after Ellis and I have done them to please stop, because we're the only people who are allowed to do movie reviews. In the same way that
What do they respond to that?
nothing. And then the other thing that I say is that also, speaking of Barstool,
Yeah.
Jeff Lowe, who I think he was at Entertainment. Where was he? I forget where he was. He was working one of those places, Entertainment Weekly or Entertainment Tonight. I can't remember. But he was a fan of the Schmodown.
Okay, well.
And he used to write me about it, how much he loved the Schmodown, and he would ask me advice about it and things like that. And then, God bless him, at Barstool, he started his own The Dozen Trivia, which he started now, and it's like super popular. It's competitive trivia, and he basically turned trivia into sport the same way we did. And I didn't say, hey, wait a minute, because it's not the same format.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. I didn't say, hey, wait a minute, you're doing what we did. It's like, no, you're turning trivia into a competitive thing. That's good for you. You found your own spin on it. So anyway, we have all that stuff that we're doing on Patreon. Patreon.com/thebigthingshow. If you can support the channel and you can support us, and that's not including all the benefits that we're going to have. There's so many great benefits that we're implementing on November 1st. So check it out. All right, Mike, let's start with this one. All right, Shawn Levy. He is directing Deadpool 3. Very popular at the moment. This is what he says. From Miguel Fernandez, our buddy over at Star Wars Newsnet. Shawn Levy says that Kathleen Kennedy told him to do a Shawn Levy movie. Feels empowered and optimistic after a recent Deadpool experience. Shawn Levy is out doing the press rounds for his upcoming Netflix miniseries, All the Light We Cannot See, which premieres on November 2nd. But being the director of a Marvel movie in Deadpool 3 and the future director of a Star Wars film later, let's say that the conversation move away from the World War II drama. Specifically, Variety asked him about a quote that Mark Ruffalo, who worked with him on the Adam Project and now All the Light We Cannot See, gave last year when he defended Marvel's projects against Star Wars, saying, if you watch a Star Wars, you're pretty much going to get the same version of Star Wars each time. It might have a little bit of humor, but with Marvel, you can have a whole different feeling, even with the Marvel Universe. Levy replied by sharing his first encounter with Kathleen Kennedy. He says, when Kathleen Kennedy brought me on board to make a Star Wars movie, her central mandate to me was, I want to make a Shawn Levy movie. I want a story and a tone that reflects your taste and what you bring to your movies with a Star Wars story. So I felt extremely empowered. We are in early days, unfortunately, because the development process was abruptly paused due to the WGA strike. But I feel very empowered to trust my instincts in the development of this story and movie. Kennedy and the whole Lucasfilm machine have been criticized in the past for choosing a good director over a good story, and then the right director for that. She's also been criticized for turning Lucasfilm into a revolving door of directors. However, Levy has said before he very much intends to make that film, and he stands by the sentiment in his following statement. The experience that I'm currently having with Marvel on Deadpool is showing me firsthand that it is indeed really possible to feel empowered and personal about making a movie within a universe that is bigger than any one film. My Deadpool movie is turning out to be exactly what Ryan Reynolds and I had hoped for when we started, so I'm going to go into the development of my Star Wars movie with a similar optimism and faith that my instincts will be allowed to lead the way. Variety used their third question about Star Wars to ask tongue-in-cheek about Levy's personal relationship with Adam Driver and if he's planning a prequel film to The Force Awakens focused on Driver's Kylo Ren. He said, those are your words and not mine. As you know, Adam is a buddy, and I've always been a fan of Kylo Ren, but no comment. Okay. So, I mean, tons there. I mean, like, tons.
Yeah.
The first is, this sounds familiar. You know what I mean? It's like, let's get really good director, who everyone loves right now. I think a lot of the times what has happened is they've got one of these great directors, and then the next director's hit is not a hit, and it's something that, like Taika's movie or Trevorrow's movie, and they're like, oh, Deadpool 3 will most likely be a massive hit, so they're kind of gambling here. But it is one of those things that they said, as Miguel writes in his article, it is usually, well, let's get this director, and I want to make a Shawn Levy movie. What's the story? I don't know. Come up with something good. It's like, what do you want to do? It's Star Wars. What do you want me to do? Like, I put out a short about this the other day. It's like the reason why Phase 1, 2, and 3 were so good in Marvel, and I use Ryan Coogler as the example all the time. Ryan Coogler did Fruitvale Station. He did Creed. And then he loved Black Panther growing up. And they said, all right, well, we want to do Black Panther. We know that we needed to kind of tie in and go this way. What's your take? Well, my take is I would do this. I would have this. I would do this. And I would combine it. Well, great. Would you be able to throw these elements in there? And they collaborated. Not, well, I want to do a Sam Raimi movie, a Taika movie. Those movies have not been great. And then you get this same thing. Look, I like Shawn Levy. Real Steel is underrated.
It's a really good movie.
Underrated movie. His tone and everything he's on. Yeah.
An interesting director in the sense that he has a varied filmography, but you don't necessarily know that those are his movies.
Right.
You know,
right.
he's an interesting director.
Yeah. It's like, you're right. It's like, I was saying this, man, you should see I did my review of Killers.
Did he do any of the Night at the Museums? Was those were his?
Yeah.
I want to say those were his.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if all three. But.
I did the Killers of the Flower Moon review, and I was talking about how there are directors who do like event films, right? There are directors that you go. There's a few. Like he used to be
Nolan,
Scorsese, and I said Jordan Peele. Oh my God, you should have seen people go, Jordan Peele. You put him in the same category as event films. When a Jordan Peele movie comes out, people go, oh, it's a Jordan Peele movie. They don't say, oh, the stars in it. They say Jordan Peele movie.
Shyamalan
Is one of those.
Their style, you know.
Well, I gotta answer. This is one. What is that? What is one? What is this?
It's a spam. What are you doing?
I want to say hello. Hello?
Yeah, hello. May I speak with Kristian Harloff?
He's buying bagels. Can I ask is this the bagel place? Hello?
Sorry?
Is this the bagel place?
This is Annie calling you from the Federal Grants and Treasury Department.
Right.
And the reasons of my call is to let you know that your name and your number has been approved to receive a one-time personal loyalty grant of $9,000.
Wow.
Once you get the money,
Wow.
you are
Yeah.
not going to pay it back to the government, okay?
Okay. All right. So would I be able to use that to buy cream cheese and lox?
I don't get it. What did you say?
So with that 9,000 that came in, could I buy like some onion bagels? Could I buy some stupid 11111? Like I'm gonna
Now, do you think that woman had any idea what she was doing? Like, or do you think she
give her a script?
Give her a script
Yeah,
and
give her a script.
yeah.
It's the best. I love those. I'm upset.
You're a
that
better man than me. I don't even answer.
If I have my I love when they call on the air. It's my favorite. But if I have Bluetooth, I usually give them the big balls. Let big balls.
Big balls.
The squirrel, the chipmunk. I'll let the chipmunk go nuts. But nonetheless. Nonetheless. So bagels.
I don't understand.
she's
Poor lady's trying to make 25 cents an hour.
no, she's trying to rip people off.
Of course.
If I was an old lady, she would have been like, who knows? Yeah. Anyway, so back to Shawn Levy.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's doing a Star Wars movie.
Okay.
The portion of it we'll get into is that, and I love Adam Driver. No more of the sequel trilogy characters. Why are we doing that?
I'm glad he said that. It's like, that's your words.
That's your words. And he's like, no comment. So keep it at a no comment and just be kind of slick about it. But no more. We don't need Kylo Ren anymore. We don't need, because first of all, he's dead. Second of all, when we do
what
prequel,
are you gonna do? Mine like
Yeah, I don't need because
First we got a Ray movie coming up, and now we're gonna do a prequel on Kylo Ren. That's like, oh Christ.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's and then what was it? Did you hear the rumored title for the new Ray movie?
No.
The rumor is A New Beginning, and it's clearly it's kind of on the nose. New beginning of kind of what they're trying to do in general.
All right.
But I said when I heard that, and I don't know how true it is, but if that is the case, that better be a good movie. Because if it's not, and you're saying new beginning, you can just see all the video. I mean, you're gonna get all the videos anyway, but you can really see like if it's really bad, it's gonna be problems. But again, the other thing with Shawn Levy, this is the same kind of conversation we have about Lucasfilm stuff all the time. When in the world is this movie going to come out? This Shawn Levy movie.
And this is post Kennedy's mandate of every 2 years.
That's not happening. They don't even pay attention to that. It made no sense. They said she said it every 2 or 3 years, and then they announced a week later that they're doing 2 movies in the same year. So don't listen to that. But when it comes to the actual Shawn Levy movie, all right, let's talk about the ones we do. I feel like we do this all the time. Let's talk about the movies that Star Wars has on the table right now. In 2026, the Rey movie, whether it's called A New Beginning or not, is supposed to hit in May. Then the Filoni movie is supposed to come out in December. Then you're supposed to get James Mangold's movie in 2027. So what does that mean for Levy? Does that mean that Shawn Levy's movie is 2028?
5 years away from now?
That's right.
5 years away from now.
Right. Unless... I mean, okay, or let's say this. Let's say that Deadpool crushes. Yeah. We know it will. It crushes. And then they're like, well, we got to get his movie moving. So let's say he gets his movie shooting by the end of 2025, early 2026, and it's coming out in 2027. So then that means they're either pushing Mangold's to the side, or they're going to release 2 more in 2027.
And is Mangold's being pushed to the side because of lackluster Indiana Jones returns? That's when we talked about the director gets a big hit, and we were here like Indiana Jones is going to crush.
Right.
It's going to I was looking at that like I don't do box office numbers. I don't go for that, but that thing didn't even make $400 million.
Did it not?
I think it's like 3 something. It might have been 4 something.
I don't think you're wrong. I think you're probably. I mean, it's doing really well on like digital. And,
Everything does really well on digital nowadays because people wait for them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But there are certain movies that perform better.
The streaming or the day in digital, all that screwed over movie theaters so bad, where people now just wait because they know it's going to be out in a couple months.
That's right. What am I looking at? I'm looking at
Indiana Dial of Destiny. Yeah, that's what I looked at. Mojo. I think it's 380 something. It might be 4 something.
I feel like you're probably right. But let's Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny currently stands worldwide at 383. Yeah, you're right. So that's and
Crystal Skull made almost 800 million.
And it cost $300 million to make without marketing. So that movie's a loss. You're right, 100%. So, but I don't think that's his. I don't think the movie is his fault. In a way that you look at that movie, I don't mind that movie. I don't mind that movie.
I enjoy it more than Crystal Skull.
Me too.
But I'll go on record and say, I wish it would have just been the trilogy. It just needed to be the trilogy. The original.
Yeah, I get it, but
there was no need for these other
Mangold, though, I think so too. It's to me, I put the blame on anybody that puts $300 million into a movie that old of a franchise.
I mean, I know that, but we're sitting at that point now. Then look at the creator. Only cost $80 million to make.
Yeah,
and it was a beautiful looking film, but it just didn't hit.
But that's different.
So is that the director's fault?
No,
we're talking. It's insane for these people to be spending $400 million on a movie.
Well, when you lose, but the creator. Okay, let's to use your example.
I don't think the creator hit $100 million though.
It might not have, but look at the loss compared to the loss of what you're going to get with Indiana Jones.
I'm not arguing that,
but that's why you make those choices, right? So it made $90 million. On
an $80 million budget.
On an $80 million budget, so it still lost money because of marketing and stuff, but not the kind of
not the kind of
money that you lost in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And it also the money that they spent on that was well worth. I mean, that movie looked.
Yeah.
The CGI was better in that movie than some of the stuff in Indiana Jones.
Look, that
so good. So yeah, it's interesting in general. But to your point about Mangold. I don't think Mangold gets hit by this because he's got too much of a body of work that it's like, okay, well look Logan. Look at
I get
Ford
you.
versus Ferrari. Look at all the, I mean,
No.
and he's got something else coming. The Swamp Thing, though, that's probably going to come before his Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Who knows? So the Shawn Levy stuff.
I think the Indiana Jones thing was more of the character. I think they overestimated the love of that character. The fact that there's generations that have come up as filmgoers that really have no connection to that
That's
character.
my point. Why?
So it's not a man.
But if you spend, because if you would
But
have
you
spent
didn't need-
$130 million on that movie,
Yeah.
You would have made a profit.
Sure.
But either way,
Yeah.
what do you guys think? Shawn Levy, is it going to happen, or is it going to be one of these things too? Like right now, they want to make a Shawn Levy movie.
Let's talk about this. Let's say Deadpool 3 is going to be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Marvel's going to be like, damn, this guy, let's get him for the X-Men. Because X-Men doesn't have a director yet.
Right.
So, hey, you handle Wolverine.
Sure.
You know what you're doing. Let's give you X-Men. And then does he go do that?
Well, it depends. He's already locked in to do a potential movie with Lucasfilm, so he's got to,
But we know how that goes.
That's what I'm saying. Do you guys think we're going to get to that place? Because right now, Kathleen Kennedy is telling him that they want him to do a Shawn Levy movie. Now, they wanted a Benioff and Weiss movie. They wanted a Taika movie. They wanted a Taika movie. They wanted that from a lot of these directors. They wanted a Colin Trevorrow movie. And
until they don't want one.
Until they don't want one. Is that going to happen? Is that going to happen again? Is Shawn Levy going to go, okay, look, here's my take on it. This is that movie that you said you wanted? Well, that's great, but can you change all of it? Is that going to happen?
Okay, but here's an interesting thing too. Like, if you say I want a Taika movie, I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you want a Shawn Levy movie, I don't know what that is, and I think that's a good thing.
Right. For me, it's honestly, this is a compliment. It's emotion and it's heart and it's humor. Emotion, heart, and humor.
But that's not his. I don't want to say his stock and trade.
No, it's tone. It's tone
but
more than anything else.
Like I know a Taika movie.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I know a Fincher movie, a Tarantino movie.
Absolutely.
But like, so that's why I have a better feeling for it for Star Wars with Levy than I do Taika, because I know what Taika's style is and I can accept it for those films. But in Star Wars, the world that's established, I'm kind of like, what do you tell me about a heart?
I'm less like, oh no, they want to just do a Taika or a Raimi movie. They don't want to do a Star Wars movie. Like, sure. It's like, to me, it plays more, going off your point, it plays more like, hey, we want the same kind of tone that you've put in your other movies for this.
Yeah.
That I go, yeah, I want that too.
Yeah.
Because like Real Steel and those types, Real Steel should not have been as good as it was. It's so good. That movie is, I just
it's
watched
Rock'em Sock'em Robot, so it has no right to be that good, but it's just good.
It's really good.
It's got good heart.
It's over the top with robots.
Yeah.
The movie Over the Top.
Yeah.
And so I like the Adam Project.
I never saw it.
I like that one too. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with Deadpool. I think him doing Star Wars is great. I just don't know when that's going to happen. And the question is, will Kathleen Kennedy be in charge of Lucasfilm? She probably will be. But who knows?
Yeah, I guess.
Who knows? Very curious to get the opinions for you guys. And I'm very curious to get your thoughts on First Leaf. And I was telling Mike about this as we were getting into it. Wine. I love wine. I was so excited. And you'll hear me in a second. I cheered when they said they were coming on board, and I tried the wine. I loved it. Let me tell you about First Leaf. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I audibly cheered when I found out that First Leaf was coming on as a sponsor. I cheered. Why? Because I love wine. I love wine. Who doesn't love wine? I am a wine person. I've been really drinking a lot of Pinot Noirs lately, and they sent me them. They sent me one of those. They customize to what you like. Mark Riley's going to lose his mind, by the way, when he finds out that First Leaf is coming on. And they sent me, these are the ones that I got. Look at that. Clearly, the last one is empty. That's right when I got it. Anyway, First Leaf knew exactly what to send me because they gave me like a little quiz up top. And they said, what do you like? And I love them. They make it so easy to get personalized wine delivered. It's on my schedule. It's right to my door. I choose the day that my shipment comes. I'm never stressed about missing a delivery. And every selection is backed by First Leaf's 100% satisfaction guarantee. It is so good, so easy. I love it. It's great. And it's great being a member because you get to avoid the overwhelming feeling when I used to go into the aisles of the supermarkets or in the stores in general and go back and forth. And I was like, I don't know what to get. I'm not sure. I know I like this. I'm not sure if I think I like that. I like the taste of that. There had to be a better way. I got the better way. First Leaf. They match award-winning bottles to my taste, so I get just right wines in every shipment. It's wine exploration without the guesswork. If you can tell that I'm excited, you're right. I love it. Look at these. Look at the ones that I got so far. I mean, really, really good. I got some Pinot. I got some stuff from Australia. I got, the different blends, and I'm telling you, I'm red. I like the red. My wife likes the white, so we made sure we got a couple different ones. Now with the membership, this is the one. This is the one I've been waiting for. I love this one. I love First Leaf, and you guys will too. Give your palate what it really wants with First Leaf. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing to sign up, and you're going to get your first 6 hand-curated bottles for just $44.95. tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. Tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. You will be thanking me. This is awesome. All right. That First Leaf subscription is something I'll tell you guys right now. If you like wine, go ahead and get this. Not only will you help out this show tremendously, this is one I want them to come back next year. I want First Leaf to be on this show for the remainder of this year, next year. And the way you do it is go check out the subscription. Get it. If you like it, keep the subscription, obviously. And do that. The link is in the description. It is the first comment pinned. I'm telling you, dude, I lost my mind when this wine is so good. I know you're not as much of a wine guy, but Shannon is, right?
She is a wine.
Christmas is coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. First Leaf, man, check it out. It's in the description. All right, you want to get sad? All right, Mike, start singing the sad song. The Mission Impossible delayed to 2025. In what's expected to be just the first of many delays coming to the 2024 film release calendar, Paramount Pictures has pushed back the 8th Mission Impossible film from its planned summer 2024 release. In fact, Christopher McQuarrie's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 is exiting the year altogether, with Paramount opting to delay the film by a full 11 months. The movie was originally targeting a June 28, 2024 release, but now opening on May 23rd, 2025. It's going to take the Memorial Day weekend slot that Cruise's Top Gun Maverick had success in, and this time likely getting in early with reserved IMAX screenings. In addition, the Hollywood Reporter film editor Aaron Couch says on Twitter that the film is likely to undergo a title change as well. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 shut down after the SAG strike in mid-July and had completed a good chunk of filming, at least 2 major locations in Africa and the Arctic, and a bunch of dialogue scenes. That said, at least half the feature had yet to film, including the film's biggest and most complicated sequence. While many of the characters from the first part are going to return, the second part will introduce some new faces: Holt McKenney, Hannah Waddington, Nick Offerman, Janet McTeer, and Lucy Tjagoric. No way I said that right. As a result of the shift, the horror film A Quiet Place Day 1 has been delayed 3 months, from March 2024, to take over the MI8 abandoned 28-24 slot. Paramount also pushed back in the new animated film SpongeBob and the Search for SquarePants, whatever. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 premiered in July and ultimately grossed $567 globally. All right, there's a lot that we talked about this, I think, the last show.
Yeah.
The last Mission Impossible, I think you said it pretty well last week, was that it was hit by Barbie and Oppenheimer.
And so it was a 1-2 punch, the Barbenheimer, but then
Please
the fact
stop saying that.
I
hate it.
1-2 punch?
No, Barbenheimer.
It's what it is.
I hate it.
Well, I didn't create it.
I know you didn't.
But also, Oppenheimer had IMAX for a month. So Mission Impossible only had a week of it. And I think I read somewhere else that now they're guaranteed a month by this move date. They get a month in IMAX, which is great.
It's great.
Because people were always like, during this past summer, Paramount, fuck Tom Cruise and McQuarrie. Like, no one knew that Barbenheimer was going to do. Even the week before, the tracking numbers were not what they ended up being for both films. So Paramount, they always had Mission in mid-July. It always does incredible.
Yeah, I think May is a good time for him to do it. But again, taking that, he's had good luck, obviously, with Top Gun. Yeah. I think this is the right move.
It absolutely is.
I think it's a bummer, but I think it's the right move because you're going to see a lot. Deadpool's going to move. Deadpool's not going to hit. They're all moving.
The Cap and Thunderbolts is moving. Those are absolutely moving. Thunderbolts hasn't even started filming yet.
But Cap is almost done, right?
But they're moving. They ain't not hitting May.
You don't think Cap's going to hit May?
I'll tell you this. I have a we talked about Marvels, I think, a little bit last week. I have Marvels, for me, feels very Dark Phoenix to me. It feels like it's like Disney is just dropping it.
Did you see what
they could push that? They could push Marvels into next year.
Why at this point?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's like an echo where they're just like, we got to get rid of this thing and let's
just get it
move
out.
on.
Yeah.
Move on.
Because
It
the
feels
screening for the movie is on the Tuesday
heard.
before it releases. The social embargo drops after you can see the movie, which is normal. But
The reviews are like the day before.
The next day, which is a Wednesday, but the movie really comes out on Thursday night, really.
But
So
usually
it's like
Marvel drops the reviews like a week or two.
2 weeks
Yeah,
before.
so something's not right
stinks
with this.
in Denver. And it's and the
Something
actresses,
stinks in Denver.
Never heard about that? You ever heard that saying?
Is it the rotten in Denmark? Like take on that?
Stinks in Denver. It's a take on the rotten in Denmark. Yeah, something stinks in Denver. I love that one. It came out after, I can't remember what it was, an Elway thing. I don't know what it was, but I can't take credit for it. But I love it. I love it.
It's a little
Stinks-
unclassy version of something's rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yeah, something stinks in Denver.
It stinks in Denver.
Stinks in Denver.
All right,
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
How we
so
got to this, I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? But you were talking about just
Mission moving.
How did we get to something stinks in Denver? Oh, the Marvels. So because I think that movie is going to be it is like the last of the. It's like the clean. They're both DC and Marvel both doing the same thing. They got clean.
I don't know about this because I know Cap and Thunderbolts were all set to go before this kind of like, all right, we need to slow down, stop, and reset.
Yeah.
Those were written. I have someone that has read the script for Thunderbolts, and they said the script that they had read at that point, they don't know what version they're at now, is incredible.
I heard some changes also too. Now,
but that could have been a script from a while ago.
right? Who knows? But I think that Marvel is doing the same thing, kind of. Hopefully, that DC, because DC is going to have Aquaman, and we haven't talked about this on air.
Yeah.
You brought it because we do on Patreon. By the way, we do these two things. I do half an hour segments. I have 12 spots where I do half an hour one-on-ones with people that are only limited for a month. But we offer a 35 where it's like 15-minute surprise. And Mike, you were a surprise one.
Yeah.
This past week, and right before we started, you said, "Well, I gotta bring up a thing about Aquaman." Aquaman, you said that looks generic, and the patron was like, it does look generic. That movie looks about as generic as it gets.
Absolutely not,
dude. Did
you see the first one?
I did.
Did you like it?
It's okay.
This to me seems just in tone with the first one. Like,
I know,
and that
but-
one to me, I love the first one because they didn't hold back. They didn't go, there was 7 different movies in that damn thing, but they said, we're not waiting for a sequel. No, we didn't plan an Aquaman trilogy. I'm going to put everything I can, and if we get to do more, we'll get to do more.
I think that it looks like they're really resting on Jason Momoa's personality.
I remember you said that,
If you
like that, you like that. If you
I
don't,
like
you
Jason
don't.
Momoa. I do. That's one of the reasons that I do want to see the movie, because I like watching it. I
It's
think
kind
he's great.
of like me with Ezra as Barry Allen. Momoa is not Arthur Curry to me, but he's what was chosen for the role, and I have to go along on that journey.
Right. It's his
So,
version.
and I enjoy what I'm getting from
I've
that.
got no issue with that. For me, it's the same issue I've had with the Marvels, the same issue I've had with whether it's like Blue Beetle, which Blue Beetle loved the family dynamic, loved what Sholo did with the role. The superhero stuff was like, I've seen that a million times. Shazam, seen that superhero stuff a million times.
I get you.
It's like the Black Adam, as much as I'm
Now,
like
if
one
you
of the
had
people
said
that enjoyed
Shazam or Black Adam was generic, I would agree with you.
Well,
but
you haven't
Aquaman-
seen the movie yet. You just don't think that the trailer. You think the trailer looks.
I thought the trailer got me excited.
But do you think that it looks like you've never seen something like this before? You never seen, like, doesn't it seem like this kind of beat for beat kind of same stuff? He's got his brother. He's got to help his brother. His brother's going to help him out. They're going to have a couple. You can pretty much predict what's going to happen in the whole movie.
When James Wan was saying, I wanted to make Tango and Cash,
Right.
I'm on board.
Okay.
I'm sold.
Okay.
You see Tango and Cash? We were kids in the
Tango's
80s.
great.
Fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
If you're going to get the two of them, and
Lot
the
of
two of
donkey
them were the strength of that movie.
Yeah.
Like, they're dynamic. That last scene in that movie where they're on the ship and,
Yeah.
fighting and,
Look,
I loved it.
I'm rooting for it.
Again, if you would have told me at the end of the DCEU that Aquaman would be in my top 5 consistently, I would have said, you're on.
You stop.
No,
Hey,
you're
all these-
donking it. I can swear on this show now.
No, you can't.
You told me I can.
I did that because I wanted to put the donkey sound on.
So now we can't swear.
I don't, because you do it too much. It's like it's like you're a good. This is why I'm worried about you doing stand-up comedy.
Oh,
I'm going to rely on it.
I'm absolutely going to. No, it's low hanging fruit. I can't do.
That's what
swear
I'm
words.
saying.
No, I don't do
So
that.
don't do
I'm not going to
low-hanging
talk for.
Don't.
Just telling you.
I'm going to put the most ridiculous sound.
Do it. Do it.
Dirtbag. Anyway,
I thought we
so
should swear on this
no,
show.
stop this. Anyway,
Got your work cut out for you today.
There's so much going on.
Can we go
with
back
this
to Mission
movie.
Impossible, please?
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. The one thing that is a little concerning to me, and not concerning, is the title change. Because what's going to happen now, with the movie Digital, it's just going to be Dead Reckoning. But those of us that are going to own the the physical media, it's going to be collector's item. But that's concerning that it's now not going to be, they're changing the title. And why is that?
They're probably nervous. They're probably nervous it's like that it didn't work the first time.
It didn't hit what they wanted to think.
Yeah, because look, I'm going to go watch the movie again. I haven't seen it 8 times like you did.
I watched it last night.
Did you watch it again?
I did.
I'm going to watch it. My wife loves the Mission Impossible movie. She has not seen the movie. So we're going to watch it again, the new one. And like I said, when I saw, she's fantastic. When I saw the movie, I like I said, and I stand by it.
I remember you said.
What I remember walking out of it going, this is a really great action movie. It's not as clever as the other Mission Impossible movies. It's just not. It's not as clever, and it doesn't feel as much of a Mission Impossible movie. The end of the movie, though, is why you go. That last half an hour, 45 minutes is phenomenal. The train stuff that's in the trailer, but the train stuff is just next level stuff. So I'm looking forward to watching it again for sure. And just see what you guys think, man. Do you think that this is a good move for Mission Impossible, bad move? Will it help it? Will it hurt it? And there's a lot of things that are moving because of it.
Yeah.
Now, we can talk about Aquaman. We just did. Let's continue with James Wan talking about those shoots. All right, James Wan. He's talking about the Aquaman sequel reshoots. There were 8,000 reshoots on Aquaman 2.
Is that a quote?
No. Filmmaker James Wan has taken issue with reports of extensive reshoots on his DC Comics adaptation, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Many of the reports have indicated that during the film's post-production period, the sequel required at least 3 rounds of reshoots. I heard 4. But previously, Wan addressed the rumors, saying that they had to break up additional filming into sections due to scheduling availability. All right. Wan has also had to deal with a negative narrative with all sorts of noise regarding the film, sprouting from published details from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, leading to the movie being caught up in some media crosshairs. In a new interview with Empire, Wan says that the reshoot process on the film was rather ordinary. In fact, despite the number of reshoots, the actual length of time spent on additional filming was a lot less than other tentpoles. He said, "We probably did 7 or 8 days of reshoots. Nothing for a movie of this size. It's just spread out because it's so hard to get your actors back once you finish the initial shoot. I'm a pretty private person. I don't get on social media and have fights, but it's difficult because this narrative has emerged and it's not the reality. The noise is fun to write about and it gets clicks, but people really don't know the truth." Wan also says he's not wary of reshoots as they can add things, remind people how he built an entire franchise from a reshoot, referring to the few days of reshoots on The Conjuring 2, leading to the Nun franchise. All right, look, I love James Wan. Yeah. I mean, I do. And as I told you as we were talking about this before, I'm rooting for this movie. I mean, it's not one of these things like, I don't want to see this. I'm rooting for it. I hope it's not generic. I hope that you're 100% right. Because I like James Wan, I like Momoa, and DC needs a win. Really needs a win.
But it's tough, man. Because my gut reaction to what you just said was, I go, does it? Because it doesn't matter. They're getting a reboot anyway. I know what they're saying, and you can argue this where people are like, oh, but the general population doesn't care, or they don't understand a reboot. And James Gunn, I was like, they do understand that.
Not really,
dude. The Flash, Black Adam, not Black Adam, the Flash, Shazam, Blue Beetle, tanked all 3 of them.
Yeah, because nobody cares.
Because they don't.
It's not.
Black Adam did well.
It's just not. No, it didn't.
It did.
It didn't even break even.
But still,
barely broke even.
Of the 4 of those films, if you told me that that's going to make the most money, I would have said you're out of your damn mind.
But if you look at it, the 3 of them, the reason why I would have said The Flash as well. But the reason why I did is because The Rock is a bigger star than anybody involved in all those movies. So and to the general public, we're talking about the general public does not know. Like again, and I'm talking like general public when it comes. I always bring up my friend James, who's our age, and my uncle, who's about 10 years older. Okay. Right. They go to the movies, like the movies. They want to see things. They don't know what's going on with DC. They have no idea about reboots and all that other stuff.
Then explain to me what the problem is. Then
there's one of the main things I asked them this question, and one of the main things is that they're tired of superhero movies. They're tired. Like it's just to them, everything seems the same.
Okay, fair enough.
Unless it's something that's connected to something that they've seen before, like a Guardians 3, because they want to see how it continues. They were invested in the first 2. They want to see how it ends.
Okay.
So that is the struggle because there's so much between Marvel and DC. There's just so much mediocrity right now.
But then should you go, well, all right, Aquaman 2 is connected to Aquaman 1. I don't know what has happened to DC since then. That movie made $1 billion.
Maybe so.
This
And
movie's going to make... But I look
they
to the
gotta be parsing
Marvels.
it. Yeah.
There ain't no way
No
Marvels
way.
is hitting $2 billion. Ain't no... I will do if that makes as much money as the first one, I'll do a half-hour stand-up. Want to do that right now?
100%.
I'll bet on that one.
There's no way. There's no way.
I'll say that. $100 million. If it hits the same number that the first one hit, I'll do a half-hour stand-up.
Okay.
Shirtless.
Yeah. Don't say that. Just do the first part. Just do the first part because there's a chance. The reason
Ain't
why.
no way. And again, Aquaman ain't hitting $1 billion like it did.
No, and there's two reasons why.
It sucks that
well,
it
as
won't
far
go.
as the Marvels go, one of the major reasons that Captain Marvel did as well as it did.
I
one
know
of the major
exactly
reasons,
why.
It was right after Infinity War, leading into.
It was the
Endgame.
last one before Endgame. You had to see
You
it.
had to see it, and
100%.
So that helped so much, and now
It goes to-
but that also Aquaman was also benefited from the superhero comic book craze.
Yeah,
at the time.
it hit right at the time. But also, it goes. We talked about this many times. We're like Gareth Edwards, $100 billion Rogue One, and then it's like, well, where's he been?
Right.
Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, $1 billion film. I don't know what they've done
Right,
since then.
right.
And they weren't brought back for anything else at Marvel.
Right,
So it's
that's
like
a good point, yeah.
that's behind the scenes, and you're like, what's
Right.
going on?
Did you read any of that Marvel book?
What Marvel book?
Oh,
I
dude.
want the reign of the MCU,
What-
dude.
yeah, just like
I
all
want
the stuff that
just
came out
the
of that?
quotes that come out of that. I was like,
Crazy.
buy, instant buy.
Did you already get it? You already ordered it?
I haven't read it yet, but I want the stories in there.
Yeah, it's all the
I
stuff
can't
that's coming
wait
out.
to read that.
I can't wait. I mean, I want you to read it too, so we can break it down on the show. But yeah,
That's a great.
That's-
Everything that's come out of that book, it's made me want to read it more
Yeah,
and
it's
more.
interesting.
But I'm like stopping reading it now, the quotes, because I want to
Yeah.
discover it myself.
As far as the overall reshoots go for this, like I've always said, reshoots in general are normal. Juan's not wrong about that. No, but the thing is, rumors are that there were like 3-4 reshoots and that James Gunn ordered reshoots. Juan says that's not the case. So it's again one of those he said type things. But like I don't want to point my finger at Juan and say he's lying. If Juan says that's not the case, why wouldn't I believe
Here's
him?
something that happens good with reshoots. I had a friend that worked on the first Aquaman on the reshoots, and they said at the time I couldn't talk about it, but he's like they redid everything with the new suit.
Okay.
They brought that orange and gold. His suit didn't look like that originally. So they reshot everything, making it more colorful with that suit. And that worked in the movie. When he showed up in that suit, everyone's just like, that's awesome. That's Aquaman.
Yeah.
So it worked. Whatever it looked like before, it was different. So they changed it in reshoots to make it more comic booky.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. We'll see
7,
where
8
it goes.
days. I think this film is just, it's the combination of all the crap that DC's dealt with for 2 years, the reboot of it, the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. Like he said, he's like, the story of Mara and Aquaman, that was the first film. This one's the brothers. It was
Right.
always
Okay.
that way.
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. It comes out not too long. Now, hopefully they'll be able to market it with Momoa as we get into our final story of the day, and that is the SAG strike. All right, Mike.
Yeah, buddy.
So the strike. It is. There's a lot going on. Now, they did the first thing that the SAG did was they're fighting for everything that needs to be fought for. We know that. We've had our differences or our thoughts on whether or not they were as clear as maybe they could be to people talking about movie news and other things, but I get it.
Yeah.
The silliest thing that they did was this Halloween thing.
I know.
Of don't dress up as other characters because it's ridiculous. And they got so much pushback for
They
it.
got pushback from all of us
Everybody.
actors. We were all
everybody.
like, what?
So much so where they went, let's get back to the table now, because you cannot have that narrative turned around you because everyone is on your side.
Yeah.
Everyone's on your side. So don't do things like that. And they realized it, and they got back to the table. You got the email as well, I'm sure, last night. They had good negotiations on Tuesday. They're back at the table today. I feel like it'll start to get, from both sides here, if they don't come to something by the end of this week, the public's going to go, come on already. Like,
I
you
don't
can't-
know. I'm torn because last week the studio walked away.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, we're done.
Right.
And SAG, and then we got the emails, and it's just like, because I was on the line, I was there Thursday, Friday, and then we got the emails over the weekend, like, hey, we needed to turn out Monday, we got to go at it, and the line, it was ridiculous how many people were out there on Monday. 'Cause it's the playback of looking at it that the writers went through, the exact same, like writers, like, and then the studio walks away, and then there's an article in Variety or Daily, whatever, Hollywood Reporter. It's just like trying to kind of, well, we gave them this, but they didn't want it, and the studios control those trades.
Sure.
So
They said as much in that email.
it's like, come on, and we're gonna go back and forth. But the fact that they came back right away so fast, like they did the same thing with the writers.
Yeah.
So, they talk like actors. Our whole lives are out of work, hoping for the next episode. Then when they
Sure.
said that we're gonna haul them off for not getting a job, it's like, go ahead.
Right.
We're constantly not
we're
working.
ready for this. Yeah, and I think that, but
That's the life we live.
I just, like I said, I think that they're
And it's
back.
not
but they're
asking
not,
a lot.
They're not. There's no way, especially with everything we're right before the holidays.
Yeah.
We're right.
It's
before,
a weird time.
I think that we're gonna get. I was telling my wife about this morning, and she's like, she hasn't really chimed in too much about it, but she's like, I just got a feeling it's gonna be wrapped up by Friday. And I think that if they're really
We'll see.
hunkering down and getting into this,
The nitty gritty.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like, so they and they're sending out the email, like, don't hear anything, don't listen to anything except the emails
Right.
that we're sending you right now. We're telling you that the negotiations are ongoing. We had a conversation. We're back at the table tomorrow. But I think if it's wrapped up, if you do it this week, you finish it up by Halloween. You start getting people back to work, because even the writers were able to go back to work before it was ratified.
Yeah, you can go back to
You
work.
go back to work, you start working by November 1st, and things start moving, and then it shuts down like the week of Thanksgiving. It'll be up and running again for like a week and a half before, Christmas, and then it goes full swing January 1st.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I
We'll
think,
see.
because you look at Deadpool, pushed, right? Gotta be.
That's pushed.
You're saying the
Cap and Thunderbolts were pushed.
I don't see. I think Cap's going to
I
wind up
think-
hitting the May spot.
I think Cap might move to Thunderbolt spot.
And so you don't think they're going
July.
to have anything in May?
No.
Do you think May is just going to be a dead month?
Maybe you got some TV you can throw in there. I think it is.
No, but I'm talking about for movies.
Yeah.
You think
man.
May is just going to be a dead month? I don't know. I think
Unless, hey, man, if the film's done and the visual effects people can work, but I think the visual effects people are getting ready to unionize and strike.
right, but they're not striking yet. I think
I don't think
I think
Thunderbolts
they
hits.
they already
I
moved.
think
I thought
Cap-
they already moved Cap.
Where?
I think they moved it to the Deadpool spot.
Which was?
Is that true? May? I don't know. I might be
Cap
making
was
that up.
May.
I
Cap was May.
I thought
Thunderbolts
De-
was July.
I thought Deadpool was May.
I don't fucking.
I don't know.
So you think Cap was June? I'll tell you. Look up right now. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
take a look and
Keep
tell me what you think, because
Keep
I
talking.
think that it makes, because Deadpool just wasn't done yet. From what I heard is that Captain America was done, so they're working on it. So they're probably anticipating Deadpool moving. So I would assume that they're going to move. They're going to put Cap in May, and the Thunderbolts will move. I think Mike's right. I think Deadpool will move because Thunderbolts hasn't even started filming yet, so that probably won't even hit until the end of the year. So they were supposed to have 3 movies out.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
It makes sense though, because Deadpool was supposed to come out this year, I thought, at one point, and then they pushed it. I thought that
Oh,
was,
it is July
what's July?
26th. Captain America.
Captain America. So I, thought,
So
I
then
think
when's Thunderbolt? Okay, so it might hit that.
I think that they're going to push. I think that I think Captain America is going to actually move into the May spot. I think it's going to move up.
You think it's gonna move up? Absolutely not.
Okay. Would you do half an hour?
No, shut your
stand-up?
mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
Let's do that. Come
Oh,
on.
Thunderbolts is December.
Here's a microphone for you.
Here we go. Thunderbolts is December.
Okay, so it could stay.
No way.
You don't think it could stay? It's just too hard because they haven't shot.
They haven't shot anything yet.
Yeah, they would have to really, really push. I mean, they'd have to like start filming in January, and then it'd be like
And
almost,
it depends on
it'd
the
be
visual
just about
effects,
a year.
if there's visual effects and how much visual effects. If the rumors
Yeah.
are true that Stephen Yeun is Sentry, then that's a lot of visual effects for that character.
It's very,
I don't know Thunderbolts, but they got some wiggle room because Cap could move to Cap could go to December,
Okay. All right.
and
well,
Deadpool maybe moves to July, and May is dead.
so
I don't know.
We
No
did this.
shit,
We
I don't
did.
know.
We did this.
Donkey.
We did this last time. So when we were both wrong. So
Well-
yes or no?
Oh God.
Is the strike over by the end of this week?
Oh, meaning we got the deal. It's not ratified,
Meaning
but,
they come to agreement.
and we're at Wednesday today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it goes into Sunday.
You guys say it goes into Sunday? That still counts for the week.
That's
well,
next
well,
week.
it
That's
starts
next week.
beginning of next week.
Yeah, so I'd say because I remember the writers hit. It was like Sunday night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sunday.
So, all right. I'm gonna say that we get an answer by Friday.
Okay.
I say they want to hit it for the last day of the cycle of the big news thing. They want everybody talking about it on Friday. I think we have an agreement by Friday.
Okay.
But now it goes to you. Do you guys think that they're going to come to a deal? Are we going to be done with it? Do you agree or disagree with everything that we've said on this particular show? make sure it's a shorter episode today. Make sure you check out Mike Kalinowski on the Twits. Make sure you check me out. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do that. We're really approaching 100,000, and you guys can help us get there if you hit that button. Patreon.com/thebigthingshow. A lot of different things, really trying to get the support going over there too. And we're going to be really active and just to get to know you guys even more so over there. So come and join us. And then firstly, if you like wine, please go and check them out. Thanks to Mike. Thanks to you guys. We'll see you on the flip side. Thanks for joining us on The Big Thing. Peace.